Hi, I'm Mark. I'm 33. I'm from Denmark. It wasn't a course that I was thinking about doing for a long while. It kind of happened almost at the spur of the moment. I was going to Portugal and Italy in this period, and suddenly some things happened where I realized I wasn't supposed to go there. And a friend of mine had sent me a link to this course a long time before then, I think like, I don't know, 5 months earlier. And suddenly I remembered it, and I was doing a permaculture design course that ended on June 22nd. And I looked at this course and was like, it begins on June 23rd. So I could take a plane straight from London to Peru and make it just in time. It seemed it would be just fit perfectly, and it really felt right. So I just wrote and kind of like changed my plans and wrote to you. Yeah, I'd done like 7 ayahuasca ceremonies before coming here, and it's kind of like you bring yourself into it. So you kind of like the experience of any ceremony, and especially on a course like this that is so intensive with so many ceremonies after each other. It's your own psyche, it's your own consciousness, that you begin to work with. It's a sort of psychic surgery that you perform, with the aid of others, the facilitators, the other participants, the spirits. So for me it's been a multi-layered journey. There's been a lot of psychological processing for me, but also a lot of spiritual development. It's difficult to summarize per se, but it's a lot about, for me it's about wholeness to a certain degree. It's about, for me one of the things that came up were the parts of me that weren't completely in tune, parts of me that weren't developed properly. I went through a process where they just came up, naturally, not just in the ceremonies, but also during the course with the other participants. It was just being revealed to me the weaknesses that I had, so to speak. So I began to regrow, I guess, some parts of myself that hadn't really been grown earlier, that I guess you could say should have. And then there's just like a whole new aspect where you can, once you're whole to a certain degree, you can choose to go in so many directions in life. Where you can choose what path you want to go down, or maybe the path chooses you. And this is definitely, for me, a part of my journey. I'm not really sure it's beautiful. It's good. Donrique is amazing. He's a teacher in what I would say the true sense of the word. He's a man who really wants to share. There are a lot of people who has gained knowledge and shares it with people, but there's a lot of attachments connected to it. They don't want to share fully and completely because I guess they think they'll lose their power. They want people to keep coming to them, so they'll get paid, these kinds of things. Donrique is not a teacher like that. He wants people to learn as much as they can, so they can be as strong, as smart, and capable human beings as they can be, which for me is an extremely important thing in a teacher, maybe like the most important quality in a teacher, because for me at least, students are supposed to surpass their teachers always, and any teacher should become, it should be the crowning achievement of any teacher to see their students surpass them, so to speak. Take the gifts that they've gotten from their teacher and then bringing in new things to it, adding to it, so that life can become richer for themselves and others. And you cannot just hold on to whatever it is you have. You have to be willing to share without reservations, to some degree at least, with an understanding of where people are. And anywho, he's really good. He's got a lot of power, a lot of force. He's got a good heart. What I experienced in the ceremonies right from the first ceremony was that if you pick up on the, I don't know, subtle signals that he sends, to you, then he'll just keep taking it even further, because you learn from it, and if you like pick up on it, he'll just take it a step further. It's like, okay, let's go a step further. And if you go there with him, you're like, all right, you want to learn this, you can learn this, okay, I got some more for you. So it's kind of like, yeah, whatever you're ready for, whatever you're willing to learn, you know, he'll take it there if he can. So yeah, I think he's super. Yeah, ayahuasca, not just ayahuasca, but this whole tradition, which is not just a Native American tradition, but you know, it's a global tradition, you know, from way back in the day that we in the Western world have lost touch with, which I guess you could say, in some degree at least, it's the direct experiential. It's about direct experiential knowledge of life in its specific expressions. Emotional states, relationships, states of being, where it's kind of like, it's not this traditional outside-in kind of that we have in the Western world, where you look at things from the outside as an object, but where through a kind of meditation, your consciousness sinks into this state of beingness, where you directly touch and perceive and engage with, you know, life as it is from the inside out. And it's just a whole different way of being and of learning and of relating with things. And it also goes to the core of a lot of things, especially concerning various sorts of disease, you know, be it physical, mental, emotional disease, where you go to the inner causes of it, and feel it, touch it, see it, and you heal it from the inside out, rather than, you know, from looking at the symptoms, which are the external expressions of some kind of inner state, disequilibrium or whatever you want to call it. I'm not really sure where I was going with this, but I would really recommend it for everyone. It's just, we are whole beings, you know. We have the masculine and the feminine. We also have like the inner and the outer, and the outer and the West is very well developed. The inner world is not so much. And this is, you know, an adjunct to, you know, psychology and philosophy and real religion, as opposed to, you know, organized religion. So it's kind of like one of the pieces of the puzzle, as I see it, you know, that completes, the puzzle, so to speak, so that we can become more whole again, rather than being completely disconnected from huge parts of, you know, our being. This is an amazing tool. It's probably not for everyone, but it is something that will, you know, be able to help a lot of people. And for those who feel inclined, who feel compelled, who feel attracted to it for whatever reason, you know, I would definitely recommend, like having the courage to go into it and experience it. And you know, if it's not for you, then you can just go, you know, back where you were or somewhere else. You know, it's just, you experience things, learn from them, and you make your choices. Yeah. Face your fears, go into it. Don't, everyone like falls pretty much, you know, all the time, but it's about not staying down, getting up. So if you like reach some kind of block inside yourself, you know, don't, it's just a fear, you know, transcend it, go into it, face it, and also be honest, you know, with yourself and others. And also loving is like a really big, like embracing, not like romantic, sentimental kind of love, but acceptance of things as they are, people as they are, of yourself as you are. Embrace things without judging them, without, you know, labeling them as, you know, good or bad, but just, you know, as, just a mix of circumstances, of energies. It doesn't really matter, you know, the reasons why things are the way they are. They are the way they are, and that's kind of like the point from which we must work. And there always is a good reason why things are the way they are. So don't accept things as they are yourself as you are, and like by doing that you'll be able to begin to move forward. Yeah.